If you've ever wanted to paint portraits but been afraid to try, then I want to show you how to find the confidence to finally paint the people and pets you love so that you can create paintings of your loved ones that you can be proud of. And I teach people just like you how to reconnect with their creativity. Whether you're an old pro or haven't picked up a paintbrush since college, I'm here to help you let go while learning the techniques to create your own expressive beauty. During our time together today, I'm going to outline how you can learn to paint portraits too. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to get there with a lot more ease. And it's all because of the 5P portrait painting process that I've developed behind the Watercolor Portrait Academy. However, before we get into the details, let's just step back just a moment. If you love to paint, you've probably already thought about painting the people closest to you, your family, your friends, your grandchildren, or your fur babies. And I bet if you already been sharing your paintings with them, they may have asked you, do you know how to paint pets or portraits? Creating a beautiful portrait allows you to show your love in a very real way, and an heirloom that will last for generations. There are emotions we can convey in a portrait painting that 1,000 words cannot describe. And I want to teach you to tap into that incredible language. Portraits tell a story about you and the person you are painting. It's an incredible gift to be able to paint a picture of your loved ones, whether it's your children, your grandchildren, or your fur babies, and create a bit of immortality for yourself and others. And yet, because portraits can be so powerful, they also tend to be the most intimidating to try for many art students. So many of my students tell me, I want to paint my grandchildren, but I'm afraid to try. And that doubt and fear leads them to miss out on one of the biggest gifts that they can give, a portrait that contains all the love and all the emotion that they feel. Now, if you too been telling yourself, I'm not good enough, or you doubt whether or not you can do this, it's totally normal. To be honest, most of my most successful art students have had these very same thoughts. For example, listen to what Jill Spriggs had to say.
Well, I had always wanted to do watercolor portraits and did not feel like I had the skill set to make that happen. I had not done watercolor for almost 30 years. I usually did landscapes and florals. I kind of imagined that you just had to be able to look at a person and just drop that image on a page with, I don't know. My grandchildren had at that point just moved away. Face-to-face time with those little ones was, it was crushing not to have it anymore. And I discovered that when I painted from a photograph I had taken from them, and they were so willing as little ones to look me straight in the eye, with just, you could practically see the heart streaming out of their little eyes. Mm. As I painted their eyes, they made a connection with my own soul. And as I painted, it was almost like touching their face. And it was interesting because I would kind of choke up. And you don't get that with landscapes. You don't get that with flower arrangements. That's a real treasure. And I really thank Miriam every time I paint that she had given me the keys necessary to get to that point.
What many people don't realize is that the skills you need to paint portraits really aren't that much different than the skills you need to paint flowers, pears, and eggs. And that's the reason why I choose those objects for beginning watercolor students. First of all, because an oval is the easiest shape to draw, and learning to shade ovals is how you learn how to shade for portraits. Now, I love painting in watercolor because it's non-toxic, it's easy to clean up, which saves me time and aggravation on setup and cleanup, and I don't need a ventilated studio space. So if that sounds like you can paint at your kitchen table or really anywhere. I also love doing my portraits in watercolor because they're less formal than oils. So when you paint children and pets, it allows their natural playfulness, personality, and essence to shine through. And of course, when you paint with watercolors, it allows you to use the special shortcut, that taboo technique that I teach, that makes the whole process from start to finish that much easier. Now, you could say that my portrait career started out in high school. I drew all my teachers. But like many of you, I did not go to art school. In fact, I did a completely different route. I took the practical route and I went to Wall Street. And after 9/11 happened, I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore and I wanted to live my life purpose. So my painting career really kicked off during my extended maternity leave after my second child was born. I painted my son in his Batman costume, and he loved it so much. He was so proud of that painting that he invited his friends over to look at it. Those kids told their parents, and pretty soon I was painting my son's friends, and more people saw those portraits and asked me for commissions. And pretty soon I had a business painting portraits. But like I said, I did not go to art school and I did not really study those academic drawing techniques. And if I hadn't stumbled upon the taboo technique, I may not be doing it either. So what I've done is I developed a process using techniques and shortcuts that create a safety net so that I can paint confidently. And I've been teaching this process to my students to allow them to get past their fear and doubt, to truly enjoy painting the ones that they love. And that way they can paint a likeness every single time. So if you want to paint your children and grandchildren or your fur babies, or if you need a new focus or challenge in your life, if you're afraid of getting started or that you aren't quite good enough, you can conquer the emotional side of painting. If you already paint portraits in another medium and want to try watercolor, or if you enjoy drawing fantasy faces but want to create a painting that actually looks like a real person, then I've created the perfect program to help you get started painting gorgeous watercolor portraits confidently using what I call the 5 P's of portrait painting. So, if you've always wanted to learn how to paint portraits but don't know what to do or where to start, or think you can't because you struggle with traditional academic techniques, then I want to invite you to the Watercolor Portrait Academy. So let's take a minute and talk about what's included in the Academy and how it will help you paint portraits easier and faster. This was specifically designed for art students of all levels, and I've structured to break it down step by step, holding your hand every step of the way so that you can learn how to do it too. I walk you through the process so you learn exactly how to use the tracing method, the taboo technique, how to mix your colors without getting frustrated or turning your paintings into mud. Here's a quick overview of what you learn. You'll discover the 5 P's to the portrait painting process. You'll learn how to pose, photograph, project, paint, and polish. You'll learn how to make faces that look realistic, like real people, without being photographic, stiff, or cartoonish. You'll develop an understanding of how to use vibrant colors to make your portraits come alive and glow with life, and explore soft backgrounds that accentuate the beauty of people. You'll discover how to loosen up and take risks with your watercolor paintings. You'll learn how to create natural looking hair without fussing around and escape your need for perfectionism, because you really don't have to paint every single hair in its place. I'll even show you how to conquer skin tones, proportions, and color blending while you learn how to capture light and shadow and the essence of your subject, learning how to breathe life into your portraits with the magic of watercolor. And most of all, you'll be able to enjoy this process without worrying about messing up or worrying about getting it perfectly. We're going to learn how to let go of perfectionism. When you say yes to the Watercolor Portrait Academy, you'll get access to over 40 comprehensive step-by-step videos that will walk you through the 5 P's. In Module 1, we do a deep dive in taking the perfect photo. The secret really is in the pose, our first P. Taking photos could be a course all unto itself, but to take a photo for a portrait, you need to learn not only the essentials without using a fancy camera, but you'll learn how to pose your subjects in a way that will create a beautiful composition. You'll learn how to light your subjects and the best time of day to take your pictures, master the art of directing children to get the Mona Lisa smile so you won't have any more toothy grins. You'll explore a repertoire of poses and learn how to arrange more than one child as well as incorporating their pets. You'll even learn how to handle grumpy teenagers with ease and discover the best clothing that make the most stunning portraits. Of course, we dedicate a whole module to the supplies. You'll discover the watercolor advantage when painting portraits, and I'll deep dive into all the watercolor supplies that you need. You'll be able to access color mixing guides for a diversity of flesh tones and hair colors. In the third module, we'll deep dive into that taboo technique. You'll discover exactly how to scale your photo. I do this without a projector, just using my printer. You'll learn how to blow up any photo and transfer it onto your watercolor paper, as well as learn how to fix mistakes. You'll also master the freehand drawing techniques that give this drawing the additional touches that it needs. And you'll also learn how to stretch your watercolor paper. In Module 4, you'll be able to peek over my shoulder during a complete watercolor demonstration of a young woman. You'll get up close, unlike in an in-person group demonstration. You'll get to peek over my shoulder as I teach you how to lay down all the washes and add a harmonious background that accentuates the beauty of the people that you're painting. You'll learn how to conquer skin tones, color blending, and color mixing while you capture light and shadow, bringing it all together. And you'll even discover how to add finishing touches so you won't overwork your painting, and you'll learn how to stop. And because it's so important, I've created an additional module where you'll learn how to paint the diversity. Paint natural looking hair in all different colors without fussing around and escape your need for perfectionism. All these additional demonstrations will help you learn how to master different hair colors and non-Caucasian skin tones. As soon as you register for Watercolor Portrait Academy, you'll get access to the private members area where you'll immediately be able to get started with the first module. For the best results, our members dedicate a few hours per week to go through the material and practice their skills. For some people, you may need to take longer time, which is why I give you access to the material for the lifetime of the site. So you'll be able to reference it whenever you need to and as many times as you need to. In addition, you'll be fully supported with a place to ask questions inside the classroom. I personally answer them every week. Plus, you get peer support in our private members-only Watercolor Mastermind Facebook group. Truly, you will not meet nicer people anywhere. Absolutely zero drama. Now, not only will you get access to everything inside Watercolor Portrait Academy, when you join today, I'm including a bonus package worth over $300. Because people love painting their children and grandchildren on the beach, I'm including 2 bonus demonstrations, Beach Babies and Beach Ball. I'll walk you through step by step how to paint both a baby digging sand in the beach as well as a girl running through the surf. Many students use these lessons to create their own versions of their family on the beach. You'll also get an additional demonstration of how to paint hands. And I've just added some brand new extras to make it even easier for you to get results. I'm determined to make this as simple as possible. Where I've seen people get stuck, I've developed additional bonuses to specifically answer challenges to help you bust through these roadblocks. Since the main demonstration is of my daughter, who's a brunette, I wanted to make sure that I added demonstrations that celebrates the diversity of life, which is why I've added these additional bonus demonstrations. More babies, more girls of different ethnic backgrounds, and even a man with a beard. These bonuses are all designed with you in mind, so you have extra help above and beyond what was already included in Watercolor Portrait Academy to help you overcome the biggest challenges for mixing a variety of flesh tones and hair colors. Your bonuses are delivered inside the members area and are dripped out weekly so you don't get overwhelmed. I've even included 2 additional very valuable bonuses. The first one is professional advice. You'll discover the best insider advice for going professional if you want to start taking commissions. And at the end of the semester, I'm offering a group feedback session. You can join your classmates for a live online group feedback of your portrait painting. You could submit that for feedback, and you can also ask me anything about what you're struggling with. This program has worked for over 200 people who've already taken it, and I know it will work for you as well. But because there are so many not so good programs out there, and you may have been burned before, I wanted to include a money back guarantee. Try Watercolor Portrait Academy. If it's not everything that I say it is, and you don't feel like I delivered on my promise, you can ask for a refund. I only ask that you try it by watching at least 3 videos, but no more than 10. If you request a refund during the 30-day period, we will return every penny. By now, you've seen that Watercolor Portrait Academy gets results and it saves you time. But you do have alternatives, so let's look at them. How much time would it take if you try to learn all of this by yourself? And many of you may have been trying to do that already. And if you have, you know that this is really frustrating. So when you add up all the hours you'd spend trying to do it alone, not to mention the aggravation of not getting to where you want to go, well, you deserve to take the easiest, fastest route so you can finally learn how to paint portraits. And the way to get there is with Watercolor Portrait Academy. If you want to learn how to paint portraits in watercolor, there really is no other program quite like this one. And with all that's included, I certainly could have charged $1,500 for this program, or even $1,000. However, the total investment for Watercolor Portrait Academy is $497, and you can even get started with payments of $97 each and pay over 6 months. Anyone choosing the installment plan gets the same material at the same pace as their pay in full classmates. I'll walk you through the entire portrait painting process step by step so you too can learn to paint the ones that you love. If you follow what I show you, you will make progress, and that's why I guarantee it. Now, registration is open, but not for long. Registration closes on Wednesday, May 20th. We do this so that we can cater to all the new members coming through. I like to keep my promotion periods short so that I can focus on teaching rather than promoting. This is similar to a college class. Once the registration period is over, everyone begins class together, and I make myself available to support you. If it was open all the time, it would really get confusing and complicated trying to support people going through different parts of the program at different times. And many of my programs only open once a year or less. Now, since many of you have been telling me that you want to paint your pets too, I've decided to offer my popular pet portrait painting classes, Dog Days and Crazy Cats, as a bundle. So when you go to the registration page, you will see an option to choose between majoring in people or doing a double major in people and pets. What that means is you will will be able to enroll in all 3 of my most popular portrait painting classes at a savings, and you won't have to wait until the next time that registration opens for the pet portrait classes. Okay, so the bundle is being offered at $740, and it includes a lot of dog demonstrations and cat demonstrations. Just like I knew in the people painting that I knew you had to learn how to paint a diversity, there is even a more diversity of pets. So I made sure I covered all the most popular breeds in the dog days class: golden retrievers, a schnauzer, poodle, a German shepherd. There's so many demonstrations, and the cats, all the different, lots of different cats as well. All the different demonstrations I written down in detail on the checkout page. So before you click order now, you can make sure you know you're getting exactly what you wanted. By the way, if you are brand new to watercolor, or if you're brand new to me, you might want to add on Watercolor Secrets, which will give you a solid foundation in painting watercolor. So that will make everything so much easier. And since you're investing today with me in watercolor portraits, I wanted to make sure you got that as a discount as well. It's normally $126. If you add it on, it's only $80. Okay, so this way you'll be able to paint all your loved ones, your family, your fur babies, and you'll have gifts and portraits ready for the holidays. For those who are looking to take commissions, you can make your money back by selling your portraits. And there's plenty of people who didn't think they'd be able to do that before they took this class. So for those of you who just want to do this for fun, think about how valuable these family heirlooms will be for you and your loved ones. Now, as you look to make a decision, think of this. If you want to create a legacy and paint heirloom quality portraits of your family and your loved ones, but not sure if now's a good time, ask yourself this: how many times has your creativity been pushed to the back burner? In fact, how long have you pushed yourself to the back burner? Learning to paint those that you love is an incredible gift that you can give yourself and others while creating a bit of immortality. Join me and register for Watercolor Portrait Academy. I would love to welcome you inside the class. Just click the button right below this page to get started. By the way, if you don't see a button, it's schulmanart.com/enroll. I can't wait to help you learn how to paint portraits.